Well, hello, guys. Here we are, the ALTTPR League, Season 3, and it's time for some more spoiler. I'm Dante, and I'm joined in the booth by Lumaga. How you doing today?
Good evening, Dante. I'm doing very well. This has been one crazy day for Rando. Lots of matches. We got a good one here between two teams that are 3-3 in the Skull Woods division, the Immortals and Tile Roomies. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, both of these teams with 3 wins tied up here. They could split this week and go 1-1 against each other, or some team could go 2-0. This is their first matchup, I guess, for the week. There's like you were saying, though, there's a ton of matches today. There's a ton tomorrow and a ton on Sunday. Everyone recovering from their amazing SpeedGaming Live back, I guess burnout, and here we are back for the league.
Yeah, let's just do a quick setup here. So we got Julloninja on the Immortals being piloted by Roach, and then jmeasher of Tile Roomies piloted by Hazukitty.
And both of these runners starting with Sanctuary, and I believe that was a pod key. While we're waiting to see what their next move is, we do want to give a quick shout out to Yoinker's wife for being our tracker today, clicking all those buttons so all of our keys and items light up at the bottom. And we do want to thank her for doing this, because we would totally be lost as commentators without it.
Yeah, this is sure we got the spoiler log, but you try not to look at it too much. These things are much more exciting when you kind of discover on your own. So we got some diversions right away. We've got a Houlihan get some money for jmeasher. Julloninja not as much money, but digging right into the seed, going to Lost Woods, Kakariko area.
And one thing, just so you guys know, if you aren't used to the spoiler log type races, there's no delay on these. Like, we usually have a 10-minute delay, and runners are allowed to watch the restream or their runners or their opponent's stream. So, they can glean some information from that if they need to.
Yeah, so it's very interesting, like how they have to set it up where the first half of this is all about the pilot trying to figure out where you should go, right? There's a few things that are obvious, maybe scope out Uncle or scope out the Kakariko. But once you hit through there, you have to let your pilot know, or sorry, your runner know, hey, here's your next like 3-4 steps, right? And you got to make sure they have enough bombs to get stuff maybe in the well. Today, just nothing in the back. You got a hook shot and a power glove, so a good find in the well.
Yeah, glove going to be super useful. Not sure if we're going to need backup escape, but we are going to need at least 2 of those to, beat the game. We do have to find everything. And I think, Lumaga, you said you're going to have the spoiler log to have on hand. I know our tracker has it on hand, but personally, I'm probably not going to look at it, and I'm just going to be surprised when this stuff pops up.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of these, and I've calmed a few this week. It's like I said, it's much more fun when you don't know how these things are gonna turn out. I might peek at it myself after maybe they get to Ganon's Tower, find a few things that they didn't look for. But for now, let's just watch how this unfolds.
So no bombs for either runner right now, but we do have $250 from that Houlihan, plus some other stuff over on jmeasher's side. There's half magic, and looks like we've got a big key to Swamp Palace. And it's kind of convenient in there. Not sure if we're going to need that just yet, but we've already seen that our 5-6 crystals today are Eastern and Turtle Rock, so we're going to need that Fire Rod, Ice Rod, and Cane. And in addition, we've got a green pendant over on Palace of Darkness, and the regular pendants, Tower of Hair and Ice Palace. Maybe these guys won't have to do Ice Palace today.
No, it's possible that they don't have to. It's possible that they may have to go in there for one item, or who knows what's going to happen. Looks like we've also picked up a few big keys. We've got Thieves Town, Skullwoods, Swamp Palace so far. here in the Kakariko area. All crystals, so doesn't really tell us a whole lot about pendant and crystal layout just yet. If they went out of their way for something like a blue crystal big key, that might give you a hint on what's going on.
Yeah, and let's continue to set the stage here while they're kind of like overlapping each other for a sec. The first like at least 20 minutes of this, the pilot is under an amazing amount of stress trying to route this stuff in. So sometimes you may just have to tell your runner, grab this just in case. And, it doesn't always, you may not always need it, but it's best to have something and not need it versus forgetting it and having to come back.
The other thing the pilot's going to do is got to route in some safeties and hearts, because while they might be looking for the progression items, hook, shot, glove, hammer, so forth, you're still going to need a few hearts so you don't die too quickly in some of these difficult dungeons. Maybe pick up an armor if it's right in the way. I find that the best thing to do is present the options to the runner, and they'll make that call when they come to it.
And we've got Julloninja heading to the uncle spot. I do believe this is where jmeasher picked up that lamp. I looked away for a moment. I apologize, but we'll see if that lamp shows up here. Meanwhile, we're gonna get a mini Moldorm check over on jmeasher's side. Gonna do the fun. Well, I guess we do have hookshot. We don't have to worry about doing just bombs.
Yeah, a nice ranged weapon, so you can take care of these quickly. And the hook shot saves you a little bit of time just hooking back and forth between these chests. Mirror, so big key to Turtle Rock.
Ooh, the mirror is a nice find. That's going to be useful, especially when we have to go to Swamp Palace. But, routing things in, it's nice to have an early mirror.
So between the gloves, lamp, and mirror, that does put Hera in logic. It is a pendant, so really remains to be seen what's up there, but could take a trip up and just save the old man, get the save point.
Yeah, definitely an option, especially if Flute's going to be late. There could be an item on the old man, too. Just because we have a spoiler log doesn't mean logic doesn't play out in this. So there could be an item here. We've got a lamp, so this is a fully in logic play at this point.
And given the options, right, even if you didn't have the spoiler log, if you found something like this and still don't have a bow for Crystal Eastern, it's maybe not so likely you're going to put emphasis on Eastern Palace Saha area. This is a perfectly reasonable play regardless.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, hook is a nice thing to have coming up this mountain. We've got that save and quit point like you were talking about, but we also have access over to Paradox Cave, and there's like, 7 items over there, and those could be very useful for these guys.
Yeah, that's true. Paradox Cave, Spiral Cave, you get to scout out the floating island. Oh, that's cute, turning into a one-up mushroom. Shout outs to our sprite dev community for putting in all these nice little things that you might see for just a second, but man, are they cute.
And there's that TR big key and the mirror for Julloninja. And ooh, there's a moon pearl in Tower of Hera. I thought something had to be here just because, we don't have a weapon to actually beat Hera at the moment. But I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but that dead rock punishing jmeasher pretty heavily there. 3 hearts is nothing to, to scoff at on Death Mountain.
No, absolutely not. So with the moon pearl, it didn't open up anything for us just yet. We don't really have Dark World access until we find either a glove for the Titan's Mitts or the hammer. So not anything gained, but is going to be useful later.
All right, so jmeasher looks like he is headed on over to Ice Rod Cave. I guess something of value's there. Meanwhile, Jullo is saving that old man, getting that save and quit point. Okay, I stand corrected. This is why you can't really predict what they're gonna do in spoiler log, because here we are with a fake flipper setup, so something's got to be readily available for us.
Yeah, he's going up the hobo, so definitely something. It double fake out for you and for me. He's going to the waterfall area.
Yeah, and this makes sense because the trick we're going to see here with the fake flippers, you'll notice he's in a swimming state as he is in this cave, and when he comes out, he's walking. This is due to, for some reason, having the moon pearl. Don't really know how to explain it, but that's the case. But hey, there's a sword, and that's a very useful find. We're going to need at least a couple of those.
All right, with that sword, that is a weapon. Looks like a reasonable play for jmeasher as he's going up here. He's got the lamp, so either maybe Dark Cross and or the escape. Going down to the cell area. Let's see where we wind up.
Are we trying to make an Aga play? Without a cape?
It's a little bit early for that. So he needs at least a Master Sword or the cape to get through, and has neither. So it looks like Aga might be in play at some point here. Just maybe a little bit too early on the draw.
Yeah, and you know that's a caveat. Sometimes you may have the cape to get in there and not a sword, and then you get up there like if you actually had to beat Aga, and then you can't cut down the curtain. You think you could just pull him down, but unfortunately that's not the way it works. But I'm assuming that cape is probably over here, and like we said, like you're not gonna get the perfect route when you do these, because like I said, first 30 minutes it's pretty stressful. The pilot is looking through a lot of data.
Yeah, and they have to do this all manually, right? It is in a format that if you were a programmer, you could probably parse through it, but none of that's allowed. They have to do everything by hand. It's all, a find, a search in the Notepad or Notepad++, what have you. So they have to search through this all on their own.
Yeah, for sure. Like we don't want it to become like a programming contest, so it's more of a exercising your brain and your execution of the game. But there's our cape. There's an extra pod key. Those come in handy, especially if items are deep down in there. But here we go, back with the sync start for jmeasher. We'll see where Julloninja heads to after this.
Yeah, interesting going back to Sanctuary when he was about to head up to Aga Tower. Now he has that cape. That's in logic. He could do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess he was thinking about going. So here's what I think. He was probably going for Titan's Mitts or a hammer inside of Aga Tower, because he's probably going to go get that now with that extra save and quit. And I think what's probably going to happen, I shouldn't speculate this much, but I bet he thought he already had it, because I've done that myself too. That's a very common mistake.
Yeah, I think every runner's done something like that at one point. And now you've got an overwhelmed pilot, at least for the start, saying, go here, go there, right? Oh, I sent you over to here without even telling you to go get this other item. When you have two people involved here, trying to communicate it is paramount. And if you ever want to see the kind of pressure a pilot is under, definitely generate a spoiler seed for yourself and just take a look at the log and see how quickly you can come up with a route. It's not easy.
All right, so we could be just getting the first chest here. We don't have a second key or a first key even. So it's just got to be this first chest, unless we get some crazy thing where the key shows up in here. That could be interesting. All right, there's our Titan's mitts.
Yeah, and a bow in Ice Rod Cave for Julloninja.
All right, now jmeasher's on the right track, heading on over to Kakariko. Gonna go into Dark World with that Moon Pearl. See what's gonna happen next. But Jullo headed to go get that sword. Not that far behind, all things considered. Their routes kind of converging here into a nice path.
All right, our first look into the Dark World as jmeasher jumps into the portal. We've got thieves open to us. We do have the big key, and got the front of skull, and of course some of the overworld checks here too.
And looks like you were right. Thieves is where we're headed to. Maybe we don't need the small key or the hammer today. Skipping those first couple chests, we're just heading on.
Skipping all four. So there's 4 things we don't need out of Thieves Town. There are still 4 more spots in here. One of which is locked by that key, so only have access to those 3.
All right, so Jullo going to be picking up his Titan's mitts as well, and I'm really off my game today. There was a bow pickup here for Jullo. That had to be Zora area, maybe?
That was Ice Rod Cave.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he picked that up just as jmeasher was in Castle Tower picking up the Titan's mitts.
So that's definitely going to make that made Julloninja save a little bit of time, make up some time in that Aga Tower. Being able to just go ahead and kill those ball and chain guards a little faster. But there's another pod key in top of, or the attic rather, of Thieves Town. So that is something that's kind of making me feel like we got at least one item over in pod. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard my mantra, but pendant pod is the play. So I would imagine there's got to be something there.
Oh, it truly is. And Jullo finally picking up his big key to desert. So, I mean, we're in a position where we just need, what, 1, 2, just 2 big keys, and then we can get to GT. Now, we still need the big key to Ganon's Tower. That could be anywhere, but, they got the log. They'll figure it out.
So we didn't have bombs the first time we went down this well. And I specifically called out nothing back there. Okay, $100. That's going to give him some pod money.
Yeah, having some deja vu here, but the pod money is always a nice thing to have. That hula hand play really coming in handy for jmeasher at this point. It's kind of a 50-50 on whether or not it's going to pay off for you at the start, but looks like it is for the time being. Here we go with going to be 4 hearts, blind fight. This is a scripted fight, but things can go off the rails pretty quickly, so let's see how he does. All right, phase 1 down, has that sword out, in position for phase 2. Phase 2 already down. Nicely done. Just has to poke him and swing twice, and doing a fantastic job there, not taking any damage. Going to be getting his first crystal, $20 to spare, but yeah, that's 1 dungeon done.
Excellent work on that blind fight. It's not about brute force and slashing away. It really is, like you said, about pokes, letting blind run into you. There's a master sword, so gonna make this traversal through the Dark World just a little bit easier in the Thieves Town just for Julie.
jmeasher's walking right by it. Oh no. So heads up that play there by Jullo's pilot to figure that out or find that. Now that's not going to make the boss fight any easier. However, it will make killing the enemies inside the dungeon easier. But yeah, I mean, you know, we'll see if jmeasher routes that in a little later on. But here we are with Cave 45, and we've got a shovel. I wonder if anything's there.
So interesting. Found a Skullwood small key for Julloninja in Thieves Town. jmeasher did not pick it up. You could get to, you could theoretically get straight to Mothula with just the fire rod, but maybe something he wants a small key for too.
All right, we're doing the shovel. There was Kane on Stumpy, so we've got our Kane to Samaria to do Meyer and TR. There's the Palace of Darkness big key, so we're down to just 2 big keys to complete the game, or rather 3. Oh man, do we actually need the big key to pod? That's going to be crazy.
Well,
all right, so go ahead.
Yeah, can't quite get over to pod. Needs that hammer to knock down the pegs across that bridge. So next best place to go would be Hype Cave.
Yeah, there's 10 bombs. You know, a lot of times, even if the NPC's garbage, we'll grab that. We got a small key to Swamp Palace. Interesting. So Swamp is open once we find flippers. Nothing else of value. And we need a hammer to complete it, obviously, but we'd be able to at least get 1 chest. And, you know, I've seen some weird spoiler logs where that happens, but hopefully these guys don't have to do that today.
Yeah, that small key to Swamp. Only 1 key is required here in Swamp Palace, and it's the first door you have to go through. So if you don't find it, you're not getting in there. You're going to have to pick it up here when it's a crystal. All right, here's the play to Ice Rod Cave for real this time for jmeasher.
Yeah, you know, we called that out earlier, and I promised when I said he was headed there earlier that I wasn't looking at the log. I didn't even know if anything was going to show up, but this will be his bow. There's that extra pod small for Jullo, and then all he's got to do now is go take on Blind.
So kind of makes sense here, getting the bow if he's going to head into pod. Although, you know, how can he actually reach pod just yet? Doesn't have a hammer, and he's only got the, in logic, the South Dark World available to him. I guess he could do maybe a kern jump over the river.
Yeah, that's a possibility. And to explain that really quick, there is a way to... The Kern jump is known for Kern finding that out, one of the runners in the ALTTPR community, where you get into a fake flipper state and are able to jump across. There's Bombos and the red boomerang for jmeasher. And over on Julloninja's side, had a fantastic blind fight as well, staying completely on script. Very nice. And going to get his first crystal of the seed. All right, so Jullo going to be kind of following in jmeasher's footsteps. Going to be getting that cane, shovel, pod, big key potentially. This may be like a telltale sign if now he is going to go get the shovel. So that kind of makes me feel like there's something important either in the big chest of pod or on the boss. Hopefully for these guys' sake, it's not the boss.
Yeah, on the boss or behind the boss, right? I mean, pod is a pendant. I'd have to check the items here, see if pet is still in play, but we don't know yet. It is green pendant too, so Saha could be in play.
Yeah, absolutely. And this may be the well, no, okay. So jmeasher turning around maybe Hazukitty found that sword. Looks like that's where we're headed to. There's that pod big over on Jullo's side.
Yeah, I'm only thinking the only logical way for them to get over to Death Mountain, or not Death Mountain, Palace of Darkness, is via Aga, unless they find a hammer here. And I think we're running out of locations where they could find the hammer. I guess Dark Death Mountain could have it. They have the mitts, and they have everything for that.
Interesting that we're coming back here on Jullo's side. I'm wondering where Jullo is going to be heading next.
Oh,
This
could be a
looks like a
ledge play.
It looks like a play in the Skull Woods. There could be something back here. We'll have to wait and see. This will be a first view of it for us. All right, so jmeasher going to try and set up this current jump here. It takes a little bit of timing, but it's not too terribly hard to do. He's on the right pixel and gets it first try. Very nicely done. So now we're in that fake flipper state again. Going to be able to swim over here to the right. Just don't touch the Hinox because holy cow, they do a ton of damage.
Yeah, they're tanks in the Dark World, and you're on 4 hearts, Master Sword, Green Mail, so don't touch anything really.
All right, so the fact that he's doing this really tells me there is something super important in pod. It's probably hammer, right? That's usually how the adage goes. It's a hammer in pod.
So if that's the case, if hammer's in pod, and you logically needed hammer to get over here, this is maybe a skip of a required Aga, if it's in here.
Yeah, logically it could be. And a very huge find over on Jullo's side. That is the fire rod inside of Skull Woods. So we can go clear out the back. No idea if there's an item here, but this is a required dungeon. So going to be able to knock this out. But I got to say, this is going to be a tough fight. Definitely doable. But, you know, a lot of runners don't really like the 5-heart Green Mill Mothula fight, but does have that Master Sword. We'll see how it goes for him.
He's also got half magic, which, you know, mitigates the risk a little bit because you can knock Mothula off the spikes with the fire rod.
All right. Yeah, the half magic really going to come in handy here, but getting ready to drop in on Moth, but jmeasher has got 4 pod keys and heading right side, so we'll have a little bit of time here. We can focus on Jullo and see how he's going to do dropping in.
Yeah, lots of different ways to do this, and he's taking the safety way with the cape. That's not a bad move here on 5 hearts and just Master Sword, trying to get the spins in to do some tempered sword damage. There we go.
Yeah, very clean fight. Very heads up play there to utilize that half magic and that cape to get the spins in for tempered sword hits. You know, only needing 4 of those, providing the spikes don't get in the way. But that is going to be crystal number 2, and there's a hammer in pendant pod on jmeasher's side. Holy moly!
I got one word for that. Gross.
Yeah, it's not the most pleasant thing, but it's not so bad when you have the spoiler log. But I'll go to the back.
No, it's not so bad when you have the spoiler log, but that hammer being there, I think, if I'm not mistaken, means Aga's logically required. You use the current jump to bypass Aga.
Yeah, that's a possibility. It also would depend where our flippers are going to show up for us today. Okay. But I see that, you know, with jmeasher putting that off and not getting that fire rod just yet, we didn't get a required item from Skull Woods, so maybe thinking they can put that off a little bit. Maybe they know about it. Maybe they don't. You know, well, we'll see. All right, so jmeasher going to open the side door here. Or the side door, the dark maze door. We don't see this too often in keys. Oh, there's the boots. That is something that's very important. That's going to make traversal so much easier.
So there's 2 big items here in pod, and we're still going back, right? We did spend the time to get the big key through the dig spot, the flute spot, and I guess how much more is there? I guess there's just Helmasaur.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to Helma. Hazard Kid here in chat said Helma King. We're going to try to keep the spoilers. This is spoiler week, but we'll try to keep the spoilers down a little bit. We don't want to know where everything is. Meanwhile, Jullo is headed to Catfish. There could be something of value here.
Well, I don't know who knows better than the one who's read the spoiler log that something is of value in the corner of the dark world. So I'm going to trust them on this.
Yeah, this isn't something you're just going to check, out of the blue. But here we go. Double cutscenes, double world shaken. And jmeasher heading deep into pod. Meanwhile, we're getting a small key from our friend the Catfish. And it's just a Turtle Rock small, but we're going to need at least 3 of those today.
Definitely. Still need a few more things in order to get up to Turtle Rock. Actually, no. I think with everything, we have access into it. Just need that ice rod in order to finish it. And, of course, keys, as you're mentioning.
And it looks like we're going to make a pit stop at the Witch's Hut. Very heads-up play here. In spoiler, you're not going to be at like 15, 16 hearts like you are in a lot of rando seeds. So safeties are a priority, especially when you're trying to do this as low percent as possible. But meanwhile, jmeasher taking on Helmasaur King already got 9 of the 17 hits in, noted by the 2 hits in the mask. And here we are into phase 2. Got a couple of hammer hits in, but gonna opt for the arrow strats here at 3 hearts. Got to play it safe, but gets it done. Very nice.
Very nice. Second crystal for Tyler Broomies, jmeasher, and Hazakitty. Picking up the flippers, so 3 major items in Palace of Darkness.
So Lumaga, you called it. That was an AGA required seed. As far as the logic goes. So both of these runners doing different ways of getting over there. One did the current jump, one did the splash delete with the arrow. So these guys showing that they do belong here in that Invitational League.
And heads up to the play from both pilots, letting them know, hey, this is a required AGA seed, but you could get around it if you do this, instead of just routing them up through AGA.
All right, so there's our Quake. That's the other medallion we need, as well as a GT Small. Always nice to have at least one of those when you're headed, to basically go take on GT in Key Sanity.
Okay, so on jmeasher's end, I wouldn't be surprised if we've got a Skull Woods play. We did see that the Fire Rod is French vanilla over there. I believe it was over in the pot prison. And, he could take care of Mothula, no problem here. Julloninja going to finish out pod. What do you think is the next new ground we're going to be able to break? We did get those flippers. Swamp is fully clearable. That might not be a bad move.
Yeah, Swamp is definitely something to keep your eye on. The other thing is, these guys haven't gotten a flute yet, and we're 32 minutes in. That basically is telling me, kind of the duh thing here. There's something, the flute's pretty deep in the logic. It probably could show up here at Hammer Pegs, because that looks like what we're doing. I don't know if it's there or not, but it might be. Flute is something you definitely want to have in spoiler as soon as possible, just like the boots. It really helps with movement.
Showing off the hammer dash strats. You get the hammer pegs down for the flute, as you just mentioned here in the hammer pegs. And you say you're not reading the spoiler log.
I promise I'm not, but I honestly thought he was going to Skull Woods like you did.
Yeah, definitely. But now he can activate that, and he's got, the ability to go pretty much anywhere, right? He's got Mire open to him. He has Skull Woods. What are we missing? We're missing an Ice Rod. I believe just the Ice Rod for Gummo, and maybe Mire Big.
Yeah, we need a Mire Big. We need an Eastern Big. And we're getting real close. as far as like our minimum required items, I'm curious if these guys are going to be able to route in silvers or at least a tempered sword just to make things a little easier for them. You know, no one really enjoys doing Master Sword Silverless Ganon.
So here's the Skull Woods play from jmeasher. It's going to be quick. We only know that we got to get the Fire Rod because I don't believe Julloninja picked up anything else.
Yeah, I kind of like this play, the way they did this over on Taorumi's side. Just going to be able to beat Mothula and then save or rather mirror flute away. So heads up routing there, and that's not really and to make sure I'm clarifying, getting that Fire Rod now. I'm not knocking Jullo's team for this because a lot of times everything's done on the fly, so it's like super tough to get the ideal route in these.
Yeah, so I think at this point, the pressure's off the pilot. He's had enough time to look at where everything is, how to get there. It's really the pressure is on the runner and how well they can do a lower percent game, right? Do we need to pick up the tempered sword? Do we need an armor? How many bottles are you going to need?
Yeah, and one I guess like asset of being able to watch the stream or the restream is you can kind of see if you think you have a lead or if you think you're behind. Sometimes you can try and play it a little safer and say, all right, well, if we've got a little bit of a lead and we could take 30 extra steps and get like an extra bottle, then by all means maybe we do it. So but fantastic Helmasaur fight there from Jullo, taking him down, and here we go on jmeasher's side for Mothula. There's the flippers for Jullo, just probably gonna go get that Quake in the back of Saha.
And not a bad fight, takes down Mothula for, well, Turtle Rock map, but hey, there's a crystal as well for jmeasher.
Yeah, so we're evened up on dungeons. Basically just a flute grab separates these guys. So we'll see where jmeasher's next play is. It's like you were saying, swamp's open. There's a lot there, or we could be heading to the mountain. We'll see where it goes.
Well, here's my thought on this: is that we've got Eastern, Swamp Mire, and Turtle Rock, right? You can just pretty much go mode the rest of these, minus the EP Big Key pickup and an Ice Rod pickup. Because if those are the, I guess Mire Big as well, but those are the only ones you need. So I would suspect you're going to do something like, the Swamp first, jmeasher showing us that. And then you're just going to work your way kind of up the map and at Turtle Rock.
All right, so here's the Hype Cave play from Jullo.
Yeah, I got the Swamp Small here in one of the chests.
All right, so I believe there are 12 chests inside of Swamp Palace. I could be wrong on that. It's something like that. But we're going to not open that first one. Oh, there's 10. That compass tells us that. You see the little 0/0/10. That's how we know. That's where compasses come in handy.
Yeah, 6 normal items in an open seed, plus 1 for the small key, and then 3 for your big key, compass, and map. So yeah, 10. Or as Dante, you just pointed out, the compass in these modes will tell you how many items you have out of how many there are.
And I mean, this, all things considered, the only thing that jmeasher has up on Jullo is the flute, and they're basically going to be in the same dungeon. So this race is super close still. You want to be on your A game to either make up time or to keep a lead. So A lot of pressure on these runners. Dare we say that there's nothing in swamp? Like we're just going straight to the back.
Well, we've still got 4 things ahead of us. We've got these 2 chests, waterfall, and Argus itself. That's a real nice diver down to get that EP big key and a big 20. But diver down, one of those new techs of 2020. I'm curious to see what the community will figure out in 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. We keep breaking a 30-year-old game, but with that Eastern big, that is actually gonna. We just need one more key to get all of our crystals. I'm still curious where we're gonna find that GT big key today. All right, so here we go on Argus. Master Sword, not the fastest strat, but I guess it's kind of the developer intended strat. Gonna need either 2 slashes or 1 spin to take down these puffs. You'll see jmeasher grabbing 2 at a time, or at least trying to. That is the ideal way to do this, unless you're just god tier and can do the dash pokes. But that's super rare to see. But doing a nice job here. They're going to get minimal cycles. I spoke too soon. Unfortunately, going to get 1 more cycle. But here we go into phase 2. And Jullo hot on his tail. Going to be heading into Argus as well.
Yeah, Jullo not far behind at all in this dungeon. And like you said, just needs to pick up that flute out of hammer pegs. And he'll be right alongside jmeasher. Real nice fight from jmeasher. You called out the doubles, taking the 2 puffs. Jullo doing the same, and it's a great way to just quickly get done with this fight on Master Sword.
All right, so what is our next play? I gotta say, I'm a little scared for these guys. It looks like we're going into Ice Palace, the place that no one wants to go to.
I was almost going to call out Hylia Island, Lake Hylia Island, because we were in the Dark World heading that way. But yeah, it's a nice play. No keys on jmeasher's end, no big key, but not really necessary depending on how you need to route this.
Yeah, with cane in hand, Ice is pretty fast. Hopefully we don't have to actually beat the boss. But let's see here. Pin Gator room. Are we sticking around? No, we're not. We're heading on out. Jullo dashing on over, heading to Ice Palace as well. Some of values here. What do you think, Lumaga?
Well, we got 2 possibilities to go down here. It's going to be the Ice Rod, or it's going to be Meyer Big. Or GT Big, rather. Or something leading to those. There's the Meyer Big.
Well, we've got Ganon's Tower access now. I don't think I've seen this, but I mean, there is a very small outlying possibility. Maybe not, that we'd have to go into. There's our Ice Rod. All right, so we're out of here. We are out of here. But to finish that thought, like, there is a small possibility that the GT Big could be locked behind some kind of item we have to find in Ganon's Tower, but that's yet to be seen. We'll see where jmeasher heads to next. Looks like we're gonna get the Meyer play.
Yeah, at this point, we're gonna clear out these dungeons. So 2 great items of value on nearly putting you into go mode. We don't have the big key. We still need. jmeasher needs 2 Turtle Rock Smalls, and we need 1 more on Julloninja's end. Tempered Sword is helpful, very helpful. As is the Cane of Verna. Nice little safety there.
Yeah, if you can route those in, and that being right beside something that's almost essential, with the Tempered Sword, like, you definitely don't want to pass up picking that up. All right, so Jullo going to be heading on over to the village. Going to be getting his flute as well. But Misha going to be taking on our friend, or friends rather, Landmo over in Desert Palace.
Yeah, it has enough magic here to make quick use of it with the fire rod. And if he happens to miss once or twice, Tempered Sword will take care of the rest. It shouldn't be too bad for him.
Oh, getting it just at the last second there. Very nicely done to get the one cycle.
And there's the second small for him. That'll be Julloninja's third TR small key. So still just one down from that, and he does have Meyer to finish out as well. And we have to go to Eastern Palace as well.
All right, so Jullo activating the flute. Meanwhile, jmeasher is going to be opening up Misery Mire. It's like we got in-sync cutscenes yet again, you know, just like the Catfish and Pod, and here we are with the flute and Mire opening.
That must be a water break or something like that for both of them.
That's the perfect time to do it. That and crystal cutscenes. But here we go on Jullo's side to get or rather make the play to Meyer.
Quick work of the Wiz Robes and Ropas and Meyer too. Not heading down the east side, actually headed straight for the back for this portal to get to Vitreous. So no small keys, can't take the east side way, it does go to the west side way.
All right, so Jullo going to be doing Desert first as well. And this is going to be not the easiest fight, but, you know, I guess we do have a cape. That's going to make it a little easier in half magic. So this fight should be pretty free for these guys, I think.
Yeah, Vitreous would be no problem. So I suspect we'll probably see, cape strats where he's either dashing through the eyes or he kind of uses the cape glitch where it won't use any magic if you keep spamming your sword. So that with the Tempered Sword, I think that will probably be the preferred strat.
We're forgetting to flip the switch. Gonna have to take a trip back down. All right, and down goes Landmo for Jullo. Very solid fight there.
All right, here's Vitreous, and actually taking a little bit of a different strat. This is spins, taking out these eyeballs a little bit more quickly than just slashing. Not a bad strategy here. Takes them down with 2 spins in each half, and 8 arrows to the big eye will take down the boss. There he goes.
All right, so that is Crystal. I promise I can count. That's number 5 for jmeasher.
Yep, 5 crystals. 6 will be Eastern Palace here, and the only thing he might stop for is GT Big Key or something leading to GT Big Key. I haven't seen the mushroom nor the powder. So two things, Fetch Quest still on the table. Actually, the book could also be a possibility.
Yeah, that is still on the table. All right, so we are grabbing Cannonball Chest for 3 bombs. All right, and Jullo heading into the back of Meyer as well. Now I'm wondering, we did talk about that little bit of a key difference between the runners here for Turtle Rock. I wonder if that could come into play.
Nice fight on Jullo's end, taking down Victory as he's got 5 crystals.
All right, setting up for that quick kill and getting those first 5 arrows in. Oh, last one squeaks out just a little bit, but getting that big 20 and getting the more important item, that crystal. So that's going to be number 6. Jullo hot on his tail, heading up to Eastern now.
Yeah, the quick stop at the potion shop. I don't blame him. Any strike from Trinex or maybe a misstep in Turtle Rock in the Chain Chomp room will probably be the end of jmeasher there. So he's going to want to get some potions. He does have a couple safeties, Cape and Burna, but does want that refill just in case.
All right, so I think he's got 2 keys. Tracker showing 1. That could be, if he's got 1, that could be pretty bad for jmeasher at this point. Unless there's some keys inside of TR.
Well, there could be a key inside of TR, but I believe there are 2 keys. I think maybe the tracker might, the tracker software itself might not be updating it. I would never put blame on our tracker. Yoinker's wife, our tracker tonight, is doing a great job for us. Right, we got another setup for a quick kill on Julloninja's end for Armos. Did get away from jmeasher and also got away from Julloninja, but recovers nicely, picking up that 6th crystal here.
All right, so Jullo going to be heading up the mountain too. Hopefully for jmeasher, there's a key in here. We'll see. Heading on over to this first chest. That's a pod key.
Well, that's a key. It just doesn't fit. Got to get the TR key.
And yeah, so basically for what's going on right now, there's Hazukitty's in chat, the pilot, and has basically lost connection with her runner. But I think there's a key in the wild somewhere that we may need before jmeasher is going to be able to continue.
If I'm not mistaken, jmeasher did not pick up the key on Catfish. Julloninja did, right?
Correct. Also, I want to say there was a TR key. Was there a TR key in the I'm losing my train of thought here. Was there a TR key at the dam in the drained water spot?
There was a key. It was not to TR. So I know we saw one Catfish, as we mentioned, Land Melissa. I think Paradox Cave.
And I guess there's something of value over in Hookshot or Super Bunny? This is a... Oh, no. Okay, trying to get this fairy here just to get a little bit of extra help. That makes a lot of sense.
Good game knowledge. Good heads-up play that there's a fairy always under there. Right? It's not like one of the 50-50 bombs. If you need a fairy, it's going to be there.
Oh, and a key to this dungeon's bailing him out. Fantastic.
Okay, so that's good. You know, even with the connection issues, I would imagine that Hazukitty had mentioned there's a key somewhere in Turtle Rock. jmeasher just had to find it and did find that last one he needs. Still need the GT big key.
Yeah.
It's looking more and more. It's either Trinex or Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I guess, yeah, nothing on Laser Bridge today. Off we go to fight Trinex.
Welcome everybody to SpeedGaming, SpeedGaming 3 from ALTTPR League 4. You're watching the Immortals, represented by Julloninja, piloted by Roach, and Kyle Roomies, represented by jmeasher, piloted by Hazukitty. We've got both of these runners here in Turtle Rock fighting for their last crystal. Still just need the Ganon's Tower big key. We've not found that yet.
All right, solid phase 1 there from jmeasher. Here we go into phase 2. Very nicely done. Down goes Trinex. So that is going to be all 7 crystals. We're going to open up GT, I guess, and we're going to see where that GT big key is going to show up. Jullo right behind him. This race, man, is so close.
I know we don't use the bot for spoiler week, but there's no more appropriate time to use it than here. So we've got League 2 and League 3 joining us as well. All the open league matches must have just finished on this very wild Friday night here in week 4, the pilot spoiler week. And we've got jmeasher headed to Ganon's Tower. Just needs to find that big key. Julloninja on his way to his 7th crystal.
All right, so where is that big key? Are we going to have to get an item like you mentioned, maybe a book or a mushroom, and leave and then come back?
Yeah, so we've got any of those fetch quests, which could take us to there, or more than there. Headed to the left side first, skipping that bottle. No need to get it now because you're not going to go fill it anyway. The Stalfos room seems like a good bet here, since he's not going south.
Yeah, let's see what we're gonna get. Oh, we talked about book. That was on Trinex. I missed that, but there it is. All right, well, there's a gold sword. So we got a gold sword. That's nice.
Okay. It's not too far out of the way, and jmeasher might know that he's just far ahead enough where that gold sword is not going to be a huge thing to go get. Headed past the hope room and the tile room, we're going to go right side.
Yeah. Like you were saying, I'm not really sure if that was like a safety play or maybe a miscalculation that kind of worked out. But Jullo has more GT smalls than they do at the moment, and by they I mean jmeasher. So, Jullo's going to be able to save a little bit of time here. This is, I mean, a lot can change in this gauntlet. This is going to be really tight down the wire.
Yeah, and he's not going for that left side play to get the gold sword. He's headed to right side, and there's the big key to Ganon's tower in the compass room. Okay, so this just became very close.
I'm not gonna lie, the way he was hitting that beetle, I thought he was going to get knocked into that portal, and I kind of was thinking with that being the last chest, it was probably it.
Same. I thought we were headed for some sort of a disaster. I mean, it's only a mirror usage away, but with the race this close, it's not something you want to do at this point. And also going to have to watch some health on jmeasher's end. Down to 3 hearts. Has some safeties. Did get a bottle if he needs it, but might want to save that for either way up the tower or Ganon himself.
Yeah, the way this is going down, you do have that bottle like you were saying, but this is going to be just a full execution fest, and jmeasher going to have to be real careful here not to get hit by a cannonball.
Oh, so he's taking the hospitality room, picking up a fairy or two, and we'll see if Jullo feels confident enough to not feel like he needs to do that, because that closes the gap a little bit more if that happens.
Yeah, there's a few chests up top. I don't know if they're going to get bailed out by silvers or not, but maybe that was kind of why we picked up that the progressive sword to get us to a butter sword over on jmeasher's side, but yeah, okay, so Jullo going to be skipping that room, so we're going to be in the gauntlet just a couple of rooms apart now. All right, jmeasher using that fire rod, take it down the Zyzax, getting the nice dash there. Solid room there from Jullo, getting some nice drops, getting a full magic refill as well as a fairy.
And he's hitting those fire rod shots from far across the room really, really accurately. So he's tearing through the gauntlet just as jmeasher is, right? Takes down 2 of these land mollusk snakes, 3 of them just at the beginning of the next cycle.
All right, so literally 2 rooms apart at this point. jmeasher taking down Wizrobes 1, going to be heading to Wizrobes 2. Cool, man. Oh, unfortunately missing that one. That's going to be a little bit of a time sink, but has sword beams. Going to have to be careful here. Low on magic. Not sure if he's going to want to burn through that potion just yet.
So exiting Wizrobe 2, I counted a 9-second difference between these 2 runners.
Yeah, these guys are basically in the same room right now.
And jmeasher stops for a refill. Julloninja out of that torch room and not even bothering. He's in the zone. He wants to get through this as quickly as he can.
All right, here we go. Pre-Moldorm room. Gonna pick up the full magic. Julloninja bombing open the wall. dashing in. Moldorm's kind of a great equalizer sometimes. Gonna have to see how these guys are gonna manage it. Looks like Moldorm's sort of playing nice there, so it looks like we're gonna hook across and take on Aga. Let's see how Jullo fares. Oh, there's silvers. Silvers in the Moldorm 2 chest. So this Ganon fight just got really easy. Jullo picking those up as well. They are literally seconds apart. This is going to be all execution. I mean, we said that going up the gauntlet, but definitely now, just we got an Aga 2 fight. This is the last bit of, I guess, hard part here for these guys.
Yeah, it depends on the layout of the Aghanim and the clones. Gets a nice double there, jmeasher. Julloninja also setting up for a nice first cycle. If he plays nice and you can get done with this, it then comes down to Ganon. The 1-1 for phase 1 and 2 are guaranteed with the butter sword if you make all your hits connect. But the tempered sword, you do have to work a little bit more to get that 1-1. God, this is so close here.
Yeah, during that fight, jmeasher lost a little bit of time to Jullo, and then it swung right back. Jullo missed a couple of hits in that phase, basically negating the time he saved. So dropping in to Ganon at 105.40 over on jmeasher's side, and then we're going to be dropping in here momentarily. Let's see, we're up to a 10-second difference basically at this point.
Yeah, and with a high-powered sword and silvers on both ends, it's going to come down to, don't take a hit. Make sure you're maybe a little bit liberal with your cape or your potion. You don't want to fall. You don't want to die, because that kind of sets you back into a state where you can't get back from.
It looks like butter has actually paid off in this case because jmeasher was able to get the 1-1. Ganon didn't really have the greatest of warps there. So basically ahead by 2 slashes, 3 now at this point in phase 3.
Gets a silver arrow off before the torch even goes out. So he's already up a few silver arrow strikes.
Gets a double in, just needs 1 more. There it is. And here we go into phase 4. So looks like Tile Roomies and jmeasher gonna sneak this one out. Got the sword in the air, so we're all set. Get your GGs in chat. There's a triple on Jullo's side. Very nicely done. Ganon blowing up for him. Let's get you those times. Get the GGs in chat for Jullo. But jmeasher is going to win this race with an official race time of 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 9 seconds. Big congrats to their team. And Jullo going to be finishing in second place for the Immortals with a time of 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 22 seconds. GG, really good race here.
Absolutely. Both of these runners played fantastically. And, there were some tech issues. There were actually a little bit of places that the runners didn't quite need to go to on both ends. But to finish within, about 13 seconds of each other, that's incredible execution from both of these two.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So we'll see if we can get both jmeasher, Julloninja, and potentially their pilots, Hazard Kitty and Roach, respectively, in the call here.
And looks like we have jmeasher with us. GG, congrats.
Thank you, GG's.
So we were aware that there were some issues apparently with your pilot. Do you want to tell us anything about that?
Yeah, we lost, or Hazu lost Discord there for a little bit right as I was heading up towards Turtle Rock. So I had, you saw me pause there in TR. I actually had to really quickly run over to my my Twitch and turn off emote only and get my pop-up chat up because I don't have that stuff up normally. So I had to do a quick little bit of adminning, and we were able. It was fine. I mean, we were lucky that it happened while I was already in go mode, and I already knew basically where everything I was going to need was. So, yeah, I think ours probably doesn't compare to. It sounds like, unfortunately, Roach didn't have the log until about 3 minutes in, which it really sucks. But yeah.
And speaking of the Immortals, we are joined in chat by Julloninja. You GG.
GG. That was a bad start for us. We didn't know that. Well, Roach didn't know that he had to be in the race room and had no invite. So we didn't have the spoiler till I was basically done with Kakariko. So it feels bad, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that is. I'm sorry that happened. It is a bit unfortunate, but yes, unfortunately the cards were dealt, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, I do want to say GG's, and I'm I was there was a certain point where it's like, oh, we've got a pretty good lead from what Hazu was telling me, and I think it was as I was beating Lanmo and going up to the first Wizard's room where she was like, oh, they're like a room or two away from you. I was like, wait, what? So
Yeah.
I would say good job on catching up to me, because I thought we had a little bit more of a lead than that.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't mess up 1-1 and got a 3-cycle Aga, I missed one shot because they all went to the top. I mean, I could have pulled it into a tie or a win.
Yeah, I mean, I and that was the thing. Like, I took a couple of detours to go grab Gold Sword because I thought I had more of a lead than that. I probably wouldn't have done that. Probably wouldn't have done that if I realized you were that close.
That was the question I had. Was that calculated, or was that? So I'm assuming based off what you said, it was a slight calculation.
Yeah, basically, I was asking Hazu because she was monitoring the stream. I was basically asking her, hey, once I get to GT, let me know how far behind they are, and I'll make the decision if I want to go get butter or not. And unfortunately, that was right around the time we were having communication issues. So she wasn't able to communicate with me, letting me know that they had caught up as much as they had. Because, yeah, otherwise, I probably would have gone straight for the GT Big Key and Compass Room.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was kind of curious as to, that play. I mean, we didn't know where the GT Big Key was. I didn't have the spoiler log up, so I was like, oh, it must be in DM's room. And then, a yellow thing pops out, but it's not the key. I was like, well, okay.
Yeah. But I want to talk about that seed, because holy smokes, the logic on that.
Actually, I wanted to ask about that because both of you skipped a logically required Aga. Flippers and Hammer were both in pod, so both of you, jumped the river to do that. One did the current jump and one did the splash delete. So both of your teams had a good heads-up play to do that. Yeah,
we were kind of talking it through. We unfortunately missed the bow our first time over to sort of the South Shore area. But luckily for us, the way everything kind of flowed, where all the items were, it was pretty easy for me to get back down there. But yeah, we were just like trying to suss out the logic. I was like, well, okay, I need to get the pod for Hammer and Flips, but there's no way over there unless we beat Aga, unless I do a turn jump. But obviously, it's an easy enough trick, so it wasn't a huge stress, but still, we were just marveling at the logic there, what they wanted you to do.
Yeah, that's definitely something you don't see very often, especially in spoilers. Or spoiler keys, spoiler keys, it's a little harder to have a full-on Aga required, but you guys managed to get lucky enough to roll one, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he found out it was an Aga seed pretty early, and I Bottom. I can't kern jump, but if we have splash lead, I can do that.
Yeah, both of you guys using some really awesome tech, you know, and getting them basically first try for both of you. So that's, you know, phenomenal execution from you guys. And you know, when the race is what 13 seconds apart here, that's, you know, ridiculously close.
Yeah, and the only thing that was like slightly concerning was our armors were in terrible spots. They were in Bombos Tablet and Lumberjack. So we like knew early on, it's like, oh, we're not getting any armor. So just gonna have to try and scrounge some heart containers where we can and play a little more cautiously.
So looking ahead here, it looks like this was game 1 for you guys, and game 2 going to be tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Looks like that is going to be, unless it changes, looks like it's decided to be on SpeedGaming Prime. That might be, I don't know if that's subject to change or not, because I don't know when they finalize the schedule, but looks like Artie Walsh is going to be playing Duke. Who are going to be the pilots for that race?
For us, it's going to be Hazu again.